So, I would like to start off with an apology. I'm only human, so I'm going to be able to, sometimes overreact a bit. And that's what it is. Sometimes there's an overreaction. But as you see the chatter and everything going around the Michigan culture at the around the program, the athletic department, Ward Manual. So the apology goes out to Ward Manual. I apologize. I overreacted, and I guess there were some shots taken, and you know, we just all want the best for the program. So I'm gonna give you the benefit of the doubt and let you put your vision forward for the next 10 years of Michigan football, or however long you decide you need to be there for Michigan football. And I'm not going to say anything just because of how things are being handled. I like the patient approach, and I can say I approve. So I apologize. Being a man is about knowing when to say that you maybe have jumped the gun a bit, and yeah, now it's like, okay, yeah, you made me eat crow, so cool. I'll eat my crow. There's worse things in life. But then, yes, there's also just want to say, like, to everybody who's doing their own thing, I just hope that you find the best possible situations for you where you can thrive. And thank you for being a part of Michigan football. And I'm not going to single out any people or anything like that, but you to those who that it applies to, that is my feeling. We all have goals and aspirations that we need to want to achieve, and hopefully that even though you couldn't achieve these goals at Michigan, hopefully you can achieve these things at your next destination. And if you do decide, hey, maybe there is an opportunity for me to achieve these goals here, and you decide to come back, then I hope that, even if these things don't happen in the immediate future, that in the mid to late future, that these opportunities line up and you get to prove exactly what you think is necessary. But everything comes with balance, so if you are a run specialist type of guy, then learn more about the passing game. Cover your weaknesses. That's all I gotta say. You should be turning your weaknesses into strengths and sharpening your strengths to become stronger. That's how you become a better player. If you're not working on your weaknesses and making them strengths while also working on your strengths and making your strengths better, then you're not doing something right. So, that is the gist of what is going on. So, I don't want to say anything else really of what I think in regards to that, because if I'm wrong, then I look stupid, and if I'm right, then maybe I give something away that I shouldn't really particularly give away. So I'm just going to keep it in generalities for the most part. But what I say is what every program in America should be doing right now is, yeah, you work on your weaknesses and you sharpen your strengths, because your strengths are your strengths, but doesn't mean that that because they're your strengths that they can't get better. But your weaknesses, they have to get better too. Whatever you think those are, you should be evaluating your program, and that's development. from player to player, unit to unit, team to team, all the way up from the guy who's going to be on special teams 4 years from now to the quarterback who might start from day one as a freshman. That is your football program. And if you don't know your own football program, you shouldn't be a football coach. Because to me, they always make this analogy, and I was almost about to let onto it, so I'll finish off with it. They always make being a football program about being a CEO, but you're not really a CEO as a football coach. What you really are is a chess master. You're a chess player. And some people can play chess good, but some people are chess masters. And what I mean is, with chess, you have your pieces. So you have your pawns, and I don't mean any disrespect. I just mean this in relation to the game of football. But you have your pawns, and those are football players. These players you spread out. Sometimes you sacrifice a player here to get a player there, and whatever. But the thing with pawns is, once a pawn goes and, let's say, gets to the other enemy territory, that pawn can be turned into any piece on the map. So that pawn can become a king. That pawn can become a whatever, right? That's what I mean. So there are some pawns who are very capable of getting to the enemy start, which is the enemy end zone. And those pawns become elevated. They're an extension. They become extensions of the chess master, of the position coaches. So the position coaches are the knights, the kings, the knights, the bishops, and the rooks, and the queens. And then the queens are that's like your assistant coordinators in one piece. That's the queen, because it can do all the movements. It can go all the different ways. But then, I would say, your knight is like a wide receiver coach or your cornerbacks coach. The bishop, that's your D-line coach. The angles that they need to take, right? They can just go in diagonals. So that's your D-line coach, And then the rooks, those are your linebacker coaches, the side to side, the guys who roam the side to side, cover the side to sides. So that to me is how it works. And then you have your queens and the kings. So the queens, they are your coordinators. They are also a position coach. That's why they are queens. They can move all over the place. And then the king can only move one spot in any direction. That's the head coach. And also the head coach is the king and the chess master or the chess player. So you could be a bad chess player, can be a promising chess player who's young and starting out. You could be a master chess player like a Saban or a Harbaugh. It just depends on where you're along in your journey as a player, as a coach. So as a coach, you're still playing the game, but you're playing the mental aspect of the game. You're setting up the strategies. You do these things as a CEO, but not into the in-depth that you would do it as a chess player in relation to the game of football. So, excuse me. So, it's not about being the best CEO. Don't even think about that. It's about being the best chess player. It's about where you put your pieces in relation to your opponents. And then once that game is done during the week, you pack it up, you go home, and you strategize. And then the next week, you're facing off against the next chess player. And you lay the board down, and you put the pieces down. And the preparation that you go throughout the whole week, that just shows on the chessboard when you play the game and you maneuver your pieces. Excuse me again. But that is my take on what has been going on, and That's why I'm apologizing, because I feel that from the way things have calmed down, that and the trust the players have in what's going on, that we need to acknowledge that from the special teamer up to Ward Manuel up to Santa Ono, everybody seems to be on the same page moving forward, and we just have to let things play out, be good fans, support our team, support your team. Hopefully your team is doing the correct things, because right now I'm just talking as a Michigan fan, not as somebody who's covering all of football or, Florida State or ESPN or anything like that. Right now I'm just talking as a Michigan fan in that aspect. So I just want to say, hey, hopefully your program is doing the same thing. It seems like all programs, this is that time of the year where everybody's trying to get better. So as we move forward, I guess it's may the best team, program, fan base, may them win, or lose, That's a part of the game as well too. So with that said, I've said my piece, and now it's time to bid you all a farewell and enjoy the Super Bowl. And again, Friday, I've made that decision. If I said anything else, this is the final word. Friday, it is the first two games, and Saturday is the next two games of the 8-seed play-ins. And then after the Super Bowl on Monday, we begin the 32-team tournament. And that is final. So with that, take care and have a good Super Bowl weekend.